What up, Shredder? It's Christian from Shred School. There's something about landing blind that's just so fun. It's a full body commitment to whatever comes next, a complete leap of faith into the unknown. Today we're talking about one of the most blind tricks that exists, and also one of the coolest tricks, both the way it looks and the way it feels, to ever be done on a snowboard. We're talking about the backside 180, also called a back one. If you want to make sure you never miss a new video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit notifications right now. And also go ahead and give this video a like if you want to see more like this. That way you're always going to get notified of new videos. I remember one bale pow day morning, I eagerly headed up to the gondola, excited to shred the white fluffy stuff that had fallen overnight. I bounded out of the gondola, strapped in, and launched a backside 180 off the next cat track I found into a great wide open slope below. Only I had made a huge mistake. Really, it had only snowed about 4 inches on the front of the mountain, which was just enough to hide the massive mogul field on the slope below. Since I was doing a backside 180, even as I flew through the air, I had no idea what awaited me. When I landed, it's like my body was put into a washing machine. I hit a mogul going backwards blind and catapulted through the air, tumbling over icy mogul after icy mogul, basically ruining my day the first run. That's probably the least fun backside 180 I've ever done, because it turns out when you know what is in the landing, backside 180s are very, very fun. I just recommend you do it on a jump where you know what comes next. A backside 180 is a 180 degree spin where you take off regular and land switch, spinning with your back facing down the mountain, as opposed to a frontside 180, which your front would turn down the mountain and you would be able to see the landing the whole time. It's this blind landing that makes the backside 180 a bit harder than open tricks, but it's also one of my absolute top 3 favorite tricks on a snowboard. Now there are some prereqs to this trick. The first is that you can ride and ollie, at least on flat ground, as this is technically an ollie backside 180. That's important because in order to use proper form, we need to actually ollie on this trick. Next, you should be able to ride switch. So many people try to learn tricks with a switch landing before they can actually ride switch, and it's a huge mistake and an easy way to get hurt. Take the time to practice your switch riding first, and this is going to be so much easier. Now that you have the basics, it's time to practice the setup. The first thing we want to do is just ride across the fall line on our toe edge, our front facing up the mountain, and do a backside revert on the ground, coming to a stop on our switch heel side edge. Make sure when you spin, you transition from the toe side to the heel side edge, or else you're going to catch your toe edge and fall face first down the mountain. This is good practice because once we take this to the air, we want to avoid catching a toe side edge on the landing. To make the turn, simply turn your shoulders backside 180 degrees and push out your back foot to get your feet to follow. You can wind up a little bit with your shoulders if needed, but the bigger the jump, the less wind up is needed. It's only a 180 after all. Remember, the shoulders always turn first. Don't try to do the 180 with only your leg. It helps to stare straight down at your feet on this trick and actually get around 180 before looking up at the slope. That's why it's so blind. After you can do this on the ground, let's try the exact same movement with a slight ollie. You can't even do this off a mogul or a bump in the snow while cutting across the slope on your toe side edge. Once you're comfortable on the ground, it's time to take it to a jump. The easiest jump to learn this on is a toe side hit, which will naturally throw you backside into the main run. We're going to do the same motion, but with an ollie this time. So come in on your toes, and as you're taking off, pop an ollie and turn your shoulders backside. Your board should naturally follow. Stare straight down at your front foot with your body weight slightly over the back of your board. If you keep your weight over your front foot in the air, you might slide out when you land. That being said, I like to land slightly nose heavy over the front of my board. So if I'm regular, that's my left foot, but with my weight falling towards the back and on a very slight toe edge, though I prefer to land completely flat based off of big jumps as I think it's safer at high speeds. While you're coming down, stare at the ground until you've made contact and then look up to see where you're going. If you look up too soon, you risk catching the toe side edge when you land, or just sliding out, or going 360 when you only meant to 180. Right away switch and after bang the trick. Claim it because you are steezy. As we get more advanced, it helps to use almost a frontside shifty on this trick, and that means our legs stay straight for the majority of this trick while our shoulders go backside 180. This ensures we have a proper ollie. If you've done this trick on a skateboard, you'll know this is really the only way it will work. It's almost like a late backside 180. Doing this also allows you to do backside 180s over obstacles like this cone. Notice how straight my board stays until I clear the cone. If I didn't ollie, if I just jumped with this, I wouldn't be able to get over that cone. So it's a straight ollie, turn your shoulders, then bring the feet around. Once you're ready for a park jump, approach the jump with a mellow heel to toe approach, coming in on the right side of the jump on your heels if you're regular, and switching to your toes just as you go up the lip. Start to turn your shoulders just slightly, and then pop, grab, and stare straight down at your feet for the landing. If you have to wreck on the landing, try to watch out on your heels like this rather than wrecking towards your toes because the chances of getting hurt are so much lower. And make sure you carry enough speed on this trick because if you do knuckle on a backside 180, it tends to be a bit of a surprise, which is no fun at all. Once you have the backside 180 dialed, get creative and try some butters and try some grabs. This is one trick that works really well with any grab. Some cool ones are Japan and the Indie nose bone. You can also do this trick onto rails and boxes, off of side hits, down gaps, and over the biggest of jumps. I just wouldn't recommend it for your first hit on something, in case there's a mogul field below or something. That's the backside 180. It's a toe side takeoff, ollie straight with your legs while your shoulders spin backside, stare straight down at your front foot until you land, leaning towards your back foot with your body weight and look up to see where you're going after you've landed. The backside 180, one of the coolest tricks to ever exist. Go give it a shot. That's all for today. Peace out, Shredder.